Welcome to our home.
Come on in and join us.
Thank you for sharing a part of your Christmas season with us.
We hope you enjoy these 12 days of Vlogmas from the old house in the corner. Welcome back to another day of the 12 days of Vlogmas here at the old house on the corner.
Today we thought we'd talk about some of our traditions that we do regularly as a family during the season of Christmas. So one of the things we always start off with, which we did last weekend, was we go to a store called Man's Country
Gardens.
Country Gardens, that's what it is. Man's Country Gardens. And we get a Christmas tree and or wreath and sometimes Christmas gifts, sometimes just gifts for ourselves.
Maple cream.
Yeah, they have very good
candy.
maple products, so we often get maple cream, maple syrup, splurge and get maple candy or cotton candy. And we always traditionally take a picture of the kids by their big snowman or on their sleigh, depending on the year.
What?
They have a sleigh in that one little. Maybe we haven't done that in a while
I
since you
do
were older.
not believe we've ever done that.
Yes, we have.
When you were little, we did.
Yep.
Multiple years?
I think
More
more
than
than
that.
1 year, yeah. So this year we were not getting a tree because we didn't really have a place that we could put it and still have a good path for Mom to walk, so without it being a problem for her. So we just got a wreath again. But what we used to do is only get a tree on the years we didn't go up to my parents for Christmas. We always alternated. We would go 1 year Christmas here, 1 year Christmas up there. So on the years we were going up there, we would not get a tree. 1 year Brianna made a cardboard tree because she was really upset we didn't have a tree. And so then I think someone gave us a tree. I think Karen gave us a small artificial tree, which we used for a number of years. And then I decided even that was, it was small, but it wasn't teeny tiny. So it still took a little bit to get it up and decorated and everything. And so then I don't know, maybe 5 years ago now, I bought a small tabletop artificial tree that we put up on the years that we were going up there. But now, since we're staying here, we could have a real tree, but we can't because Mom's here, so we're using that one for now. So Man's was one tradition. Anything else you guys want to share of traditions that we've had over the years? One thing I always do at Christmas time, Dale and I do it together to start, and then I just do the process, is Christmas cards with a Christmas letter. So we have generally taken a picture of the kids special for that, sometimes the whole family, sometimes just the kids, and then we write a Christmas letter together and send Christmas cards to family and friends. That's just something we like to do every year and try to keep the focus on not just ourselves, but on the reason for Christmas and the reason for the season.
One of the things we like to do when we get Christmas cards, and it started with a tradition my grandparents had, is posting the Christmas cards on the cupboard doors of our kitchen. I believe we've shown you last year, and I'll link a video up here in the top right corner of last year's posting the cards so you can get an idea of what we do. But my grandparents used to do that every single year while their friends and family, neighbors, acquaintances, they would post the Christmas cards all over the kitchen doors, kitchen cupboard doors, and remember each person that was special to them that had sent them a card. And they made a habit of sending cards and letters back to all those people. So that's something we've kind of kept up. We don't get as many cards yet as my grandparents did. We don't know as many people as they did. But we do carry on that tradition. And one of the things that Claudine has kind of brought to our family is the concept of saving those cards after the holiday season. And we take turns praying for the families that sent us those cards throughout the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last year was one of the first years we actually got through all of them in a timely manner. Another thing that I always have enjoyed doing is finding an Advent devotional for the year, both for myself and the kids. When the kids were little, we would just read different books about Christmas and Advent. But as I got older, we would do a Christmas devotional kind of thing, Advent devotional together. So we're doing that this year again. And I have my own personal, actually this year I have 3 just because I couldn't decide. So I'm doing 3 different ones. So that's something that I always look forward to. It's just a time to focus, reset spiritually kind of, and really be ready for the next year, spiritually speaking. Anything you remember, Brendan? A tradition you liked?
Gingerbread houses. We built gingerbread houses as kids, and didn't always go well. Still doesn't.
So what else?
Just because it was home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tried.
Yeah, but last year you couldn't eat it.
We didn't
It
use a
was-
kit last year.
It was
We
harder than rock.
made
You
homemade.
bit into it and you're worried you're
gingerbread.
gonna break your teeth on it.
We just overbaked it a little. It wasn't that bad.
Every Christmas breakfast, Mom makes Welsh kringler, but I don't really know what it is.
It's like a puff pastry with a almond glaze topping on it.
It's delicious.
Kind of.
It's homemade. Again, it's something his grandmother.
My
I got the
grandmother
recipe from. I almost think she got it from your Aunt Jan.
Could have been.
I feel like the recipe came from Dale's Aunt Jan.
Must be Wales.
But we only make it like Christmas and lots of times Dale's birthday because he'll ask for that for his birthday breakfast. So really, we only usually have it twice a year
What is
at the
Welsh?
most.
What is Welsh from?
Wales.
Wales.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So that's
So it's from
Christmas
Wales.
breakfast when we're home. When we traveled to Verona to go to my parents at Christmas time, our traditions were a tiny bit different because, of course, we weren't here. But when we were up there, we would always go to my Uncle Wayne's, have Christmas with all the cousins that were around and my aunts and uncles that were around. And that stemmed from my grandmother would always host Christmas for her siblings and their families for many, many years. And then as people got older and families, got married, had their own traditions, it ended up just being my aunts and uncles and cousins at my grandparents' house. So that continued for a number of most of our kids' growing up years. That was still the tradition. We went over there, and one of the things my mom always made was potato candy. My Uncle Wayne loved it, and she loved it, so that was the one time a year she would make it. And I have not mastered it yet. I'm still trying to figure out, and she can't help me. What was it? 3 years ago when she was here, when she had fell and then had her stroke while she was here on Christmas Eve. She and Megan and I tried to make it, and it was a colossal failure. She couldn't remember, and
Just keep adding more sugar.
Too much sugar. It had way too much
Yeah,
sugar.
I
I
think
don't
you
know
need a
what.
little more sugar.
or if I baked the potato too long or something was bad. But anyway, we're gonna try again. That's something I really want. I don't like it. I don't eat it. It's too sweet for me.
Looks
But
nasty, to be honest.
you eat it. You like it.
I had a piece
So.
or two when we were there.
But so that was the big tradition up there, and we would all open our stockings, which my grandmother made everybody's stocking when for all her grandkids, and then my aunt
You've kept up that tradition.
made 3 of our kids. I made one. My aunt
Yeah,
Henry made
that's
the other
something
3.
that Claudine has kept up the tradition of making the stockings for new
members.
additions to our family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hand knit.
Going.
Gonna have to keep going.
one of the things that I always remember too from when we first got married and we're spending Christmas at your grandparents' house, her grandparents used to leave the Christmas tree decorated and just cover it with a sheet and put it in the parlor, so it was up all year round.
Yeah, it was. That's where we had Christmas was in the parlor. So as they got older and they didn't want to put it up and take it down, and they didn't do a real tree anymore, it just stayed in the parlor. And usually no one was in the parlor most of the rest of the year except for piano lessons. So, yep. And then years when we were here, we would usually go to his sister's house, sometime around. Not always on Christmas Day. Sometimes on Christmas Day. Other times. So we would alternate between the families and whatnot for that. So that's one tradition. One thing my mom started with the kids was she would always buy them chocolate advent calendars and send them down, and they would always enjoy that every morning, getting up and getting their little piece of chocolate, because I usually didn't let them eat a lot of candy and sweets. So
That was all new to me because I'd never heard of chocolate candy advent calendars.
I never.
Something I never did.
Well, I never did them growing up. We had a paper one. We opened it and there was a picture behind it. We always had an advent calendar, but that was the kind we had. But probably because I am not a candy eater for the most part, I would not have enjoyed that at all as a kid.
You
so
don't like chocolate.
I don't like chocolate too much, no. So
She likes chocolate and peanut butter though.
Reese's.
Reese's
yep.
is her weakness.
That is my one weakness.
Donuts. You have a
Another
weakness for donuts?
another thing this is not a vlog about my weakness. Another another tradition that was always close to my heart was our church Christmas programs, because I grew up being in Christmas programs. You grew up being in Christmas programs. The Sunday school Christmas program. So our kids did that for years and years and years. It's probably been just maybe the past 5 years that we haven't done one at church, 5 or 6. So that was always fun. Often I would help coordinate that or put that on. Our kids also did different Christmas programs with our homeschool group at different times. So just special programs during the Christmas season were always something that were fun and enjoyable that we could take part in as a family. One of the things we did, and I got like a calendar off something online, and it had different things to do for each day of Advent. Kind things, giving things, how to serve other people. One was take stuff to your neighbors, which we do as a tradition. Every year we bake and take things to the neighbors. Another was write a letter to the librarian and tell them how much you appreciate them, which we frequent the library, especially when the kids were little. We would leave with stacks of books. So we did that. And one was candy cane bomb a parking lot. And I feel like you guys were old enough. Brianna had a friend that drove. So they went with her and they did it one year. And they liked it. They enjoyed it so much. So the next year we put little verses on the candy canes, and then they went and did it again. They did that for quite a few years, actually. And then the last time they did it, someone at Walmart said that was not allowable anymore. So they didn't last year, obviously, because of the pandemic. And I don't think there's any plans to do it this year because the last time they did it in 2018, or maybe it was 2019. Yeah, 2019 was when they were spoken to by someone. So unfortunately that kind of stopped, but it was funny because a couple times we saw acquaintances, that are local to us on Facebook would write, I came out of Walmart and there was a candy cane on my door, and it was so neat, so nice, just something special to do for someone. So I think that's important for kids to learn that the season is not about what we get, not making our list of all the things we want, but what we can give to other people. So that was something we always tried to stress.
And sometimes what you can do for other people is just to make them happy. That's something special. It doesn't have to be a gift. Just it could be an action, it could be a word, something that makes their day a little bit more joyful.
Any other things that we're forgetting that? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Growing up when we were little, Christmas was always fun, like getting the tree and getting all the decorations and decorating. My mom decorated for every holiday, like every single holiday she decorated. So Christmas, we did that. But a couple of the main things, of course, were the Sunday school Christmas program, all the band concerts at school and the choir concerts at school. Those were all fun. But Christmas Eve, we always went to my dad's friends, Lee and Kay Williams, with another family, the Eastmans. And all of Lee and Kay's kids that were local would come over, and we just had Christmas Eve with them. Kay made spaghetti with her spaghetti sauce, which is the best spaghetti sauce I've ever had in my life. I couldn't even make it if I tried. But that was always a fun tradition. We would do that Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we went to my grandma Hayward's, my maternal grandmother and grandfather's, and we'd have Christmas with them. And then after that, on the way home, we would go to my dad's mom's most years and just visit her. There were so many in that family that, we didn't always get together as a large extended family, but we always made sure we visited her. Probably one of my favorite Christmases growing up, though, was 1986. My dad's entire family and all their kids came for Christmas. So we had all of the Austin family together, and it was a lot of fun. It was like a whole week of fun for everybody, and that was probably one of my favorite memories of a Christmas growing up, because it was unusual for that to happen. My dad came from a family of 11 kids, so all of their kids coming, and it was just fun.
Probably one of the memories that I can think of from my childhood is always spending Christmas Eve here at the old house with my grandparents, all my aunts and uncles and cousins. Christmas Eve was a tradition to spend here, opening our gifts from Grandpa and Grandma and just having a good time with family. Other years, we might not have come here, but we went to my grandmother's brother's house and his wife and their family, and we would gather there. It was about a 2-hour, hour and a half drive from here. And I remember going there and doing the same thing, opening presents and sharing a time with family on Christmas Eve, and then driving home after it got dark, obviously, and being already in our pajamas so that we could go to bed as soon as we got here. But watching the moon, and of course being a little kid that didn't really understand a whole lot, thinking the moon is chasing us all the way home. That was just a memory that, not necessarily a Christmas memory, but that was just a memory of driving home on Christmas Eve.
I remember one Christmas Eve when we were on our way home from Lee and Kay's, lined up perfectly for my parents. My dad, he thought this was hilarious. There was a guy dressed up as Santa going into someone's house, and my dad was like, "You guys better get home and get right to bed because Santa's already here. So by the time we get home, he'll be ready to be at our house. So you're gonna have to get right to bed." So it worked out good for him. he had a reason for us to go right to bed because we thought Santa was coming. Yeah, we grew up, both of us. You know, our parents did Santa Claus. We didn't really focus on that with our kids. So just a personal preference. Everybody has those, but I think Christmas is a good time to develop family traditions. And family traditions do help to make your family closer and bind them together, and things that you can look back on and remember. So hopefully our kids will say they had enjoyable childhoods and remembering Christmases past someday. But we hope you have family traditions. And if you have any that are different, feel free to share them down below.
Yeah, we'd like to see what you do.
Join us tomorrow for the next edition of 12 Days of Vlogmas.